قال والله يا watch ما شاء الله شمك كلاش Allah study apostles and others of great milestone that rule and teach well. Peace and salutations to the brothers and the four corners of this earth. Pushing this word and truth, all to sincerity, and with them not vaccination warm. Um, yeah, it was an article really. Kind of perused through it, didn't write down any precepts, but hey, we get into it because there's something in the like last stanza of this entire article that I really want to get at. That I really want to get at. So you run through the article, get a couple of precepts, and straight to the point as usual, right? I don't even know what I'm going to title this video, but it's just how this news site does word the articles, I guess, right? Because nevertheless, you'll see for yourself. The brothers who, in truth, who the real men of the Lord, you'll ever see when I reach our. It says federal court rules burning the US flag is free speech. Burning Israeli's flag is a hate crime. According to the courts, you can torch Old Glory in the streets and call it free speech, but torch the Israeli flag even in protest, and a federal judge now says you've committed a racial discrimination hate crime. That's right, the US courts have decided that a foreign nation's banner deserves more protection than our own. The ruling came out of Washington, D.C., where Judge Trevor N. McFadden declared that the Star of David on Israel's flag represents our racial heritage. Right now, that is one point, because when we go out on the highways, right, and we tell people, hey, the Lord is a racist, right? They look at us all, like, how could you say that? God love everybody, make everybody, how you can say that? And you bring out precepts to show them that, hey, you know what I mean? He prefers our one type of people compared to other. When you look up the word race, it just means preference of a race. You know what I'm saying? I mean preference of a race when the Lord say he hate a certain type of people. He hate, you know. Well, I mean the Lord they serve is not the Lord of the Bible clearly, but you know what I mean? They try to reference it as the Lord of the Bible, knowing very little, well, knowing nothing. Because they really actually, as you always try to tell the Samaritan woman, he know not what he worship. You know what I'm saying? They don't know what they worship. They claiming that is the Lord of the Bible, but they really don't know him. Right? It says, in other words, he elevated a political symbol of a foreign state into a sacred racial identity, putting it on the same level as America's civil rights laws. The decision means that what you would normally be what would be political protest against Israel can now be branded as racism in the United States. Think about that burning or defacing the American flag, the flag that draped the coffins of our fallen soldiers is protected speech, but burning the Israeli flag could get you thrown in prison for racial discrimination. Once again, the elites have made it clear that America comes last to the American people. It's like America comes last. The American people are told to swallow humiliation as their own flag is desecrated while the symbol of a foreign country are wrapped in layers of legal protection. Washington is bending over backward to serve Israel and global interests while the foundations of our own sovereignty are trampled. This isn't about combating hate, it's about rewriting the law to shield Israel from criticism while stripping Americans of their most basic freedoms. If this president opposing Israel's policies could soon be treated as civil rights violation, even as burning the stars and stripes remains a celebrated form of dissent, the message could not be clearer. The American flag is fair game, but Israel's flag is sacred. Our courts have chosen their master, and it isn't the American people. Right, that the point I wanted to bring out in the article, saying the courts have chosen their master, right? Um, yeah, precept here, so. It's bad, no. But I say I'm nothing right down. It's just, you know what I mean? It come to the spirit now. Oh, shit. Jeremiah 49 and 20. It said, therefore, hear the counsel of Yahweh that he had taken against Edom, and his purposes that he had purposed against the inhabitation of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make the habitations desolate with them. You understand? With their own. Because when you think about it, right? The reason I war against Gaza, which allied with this nation or that nation, which indirectly comes back to Russia. Alright? Russia is one tribe of Edom, Esau. America and Israel is another side of Esau, Edom. Alright? Israel is the least, meaning the least as in numbers in the amount of them. A little bit the 48ers, a little bit. Right, so what the least shall draw them out. You understand? They cause them to take up arms. They cause a big bad America to go to other nations and flatten them. You know what I mean? Because they know they stand under the protection of them. You understand? So they had a haughty spirit to go into other nations and do as they please, knowing America will defend them to the end, to the last. Look at what we know with Ukraine. Right now, Trump don't want to send nothing else Ukraine, he wants to send everything in Russia. It's like in Russia, Israel. Right? And now the same token, well, burning the face and their flag. You know what I mean? It's a hate crime. As the article says, he holding most sacred because it's a symbol of our race. Now, we know, you know what I mean, when we out on the highways and byways and we bring it across like that, they look at us as lunatics. Rather, as lunatics. Alright? I'm going to Apocrypha and see if I get that precept. Alright? When we bring it across like, hey, the Lord is a man, you know what I mean? Who set things a certain way. They don't want to accept it, for lack of better words. They don't accept it. There was a Muslim 5, I'll start from 1. It said, then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such have afflicted him, and made no account of his labors. Here, they make no account of our works. Going out every week on the highways, doing these videos. You know what I mean? Nah, we don't party, we don't club, we don't do this. Nah, we don't drink, we don't smoke, we don't, you know what I mean? We don't partake in these things. We don't, nah, we don't, I don't do birthdays, bang. You know, you're working with somebody that know your birthdays, think, hey, happy. Nah, I don't. Nah, it's alright, I do party. You know, these kind of things. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangers of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. Yeah, you know, son. When they see that, hey, it's not that Israel that, you know what I mean, America going out the way to protect and change the laws to secure. Finally, Israel that, you know what I mean, is the chosen one. When they see is the people who they slaughtered and raped and robbed for years, even up to this day, even up to this very hour. You know what? The ones they claim to be 3/5 of a man, as if that shit make any fucking sense. And you know, when they actually sit down and think about it, it doesn't make sense. But nevertheless, the cast us as less than human. Alright? And they realize that wait, these are the lowly ones that the Lord really come for. Yeah, it could be strange unto them, like scripture say, well, they shall be troubled with our terrible fear. Right? Terrible. I don't know, I don't know, like nothing. It's a terrible fear, right? Terrible, terrible, terrible fear. But when we speak like this, how you could say the Lord only love them, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? When the bastard that dwell in Ashdod do it, hey, they correct, right? They correct. They have a right to say talking against them is a hate crime. This, that, and the other. All sorts of BS. Right? These Romans 9 and 13. Uh, I'll start from 9. Romans 9 and 9. It says, "For this is the word of promise, at this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, neither having done yet any good or evil, that the purpose of power according to election might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth." So you're right. So it's not what you do, right? But of him that calleth, so the creator. Because Yahushua say we were given unto him from since the beginning. Right? Verse 12. "It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger." When you go back into Genesis, the one that come out first was what? Red as a hairy garment, that Esau, right? Alright. Then Jacob came forth holding his heel according to the Apocrypha. Alright. Verse 13, "As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. What shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with power? Power forbid. For he said to Moses, I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." Right? This is all the Lord doing. And hey, the men of the Lord. As I say, I only bring out that article because of that last stanza, when they say America choose its master, and it's not the American people. I was going down one train, I thought with it, but I end up coming down this way. But hey, at the spirit, that so be it, thus say the Lord, so be it. But what I was getting at was the Lord chose Israel and not on the media today, not Israel that run the world today. Not the ones America defending. Not them we talking about. We talking about the true, real children of Israel. Worship the Lord in spirit and in truth. Alright, the men that every time I do a video, I say double honors to the apostles and elders. Those men is who are talking about the brothers are pushing this world in the four corners of the earth. That is the man, that is who the Lord called. The true worshippers of the Lord. You know what I mean? To them pertain the adoption of sons. Alright? And that is what I wanted that is what make me really read the article, because of the last part. That is what inspired me, in other words, to do a video. I say they choose the master. Scriptures talk about what the least of the flock drawing them out. And that is exactly what going on. They don't care about they don't care about their people. So like a wrong chapter. It's 31 and 3. It's the one now, the Egyptians are men and not power, and the horses flesh and not spirit. When Yahweh shall stretch out his hand, both he that helpeth shall fall, and he that holdeth shall fall down, and they all shall fail together. Yeah. Isaiah 30. And I'm going to start from one so you get the context. Right? It's a woe to the rebellious children, say to Yahweh, that they counsel but not of me, and that cover with a covering but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be a shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. It go bring shame and confusion because, well, yeah, it's a proud American even defending all the defending a totally different nation as the article read. So we can see today that, hey, this precept stands to be true. As the scriptures say, these words are faithful and true. It will be a confusion and a confoundment when that time come, when that war temptations come. Revelation 3 and 10, because coming upon the whole world. Right? As you can clearly see, they don't care about all of the rather secure nation halfway across the world and leave only $10 million of debt, slums, a decaying society. That is what they leads to. Right, but you all rush to aid and help and vote and this and that and contribute to society and these societal norms, so you all fall in line and so on and so forth. Not knowing this will be the deciding factor in all the downfall. So I hope I was edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yoshai Bashem Kokodash. Until next time, shalom.